Hello guys, how are you? Welcome to NFT Studio 24 podcast series where we interview experts from all over the world to know their insight on the Web3 market trend, blockchain and other things. NFT Studio 24 is a Japan-based decentralized media platform that aims to remove the country barrier and the language barriers and increase the communication in Web3, Metaverse and blockchain. Today, we have a very special guest, Matthieu Brossard, CEO and co-founder of Blue Sky Interactive, a Web3 gaming development studio. Matthew has been in the game development industry for over 10 years. He worked as a produce director at the Game Loft before starting his own company with his teammate. Matthew has also a various NFT, including the CryptoKitties, Cross the Edge cards, and many more. Glad to see you, Matthew.
Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
So let's get a start for the interview sessions. My first question. What is the vision behind the Blue Sky Interactive? And personally, what lead you to decide you pursue your career in Web3 industry?
Yeah, it's a great question. So basically, I've been following the market since 2017, when we had CryptoKitties as a first interesting implementation of gaming mechanics and crypto assets. And with Axie Infinity in 2021, I saw that the combination of fungible and non-fungible token, plus the possibility of smart contract that was now becoming more prevalent, I wanted to explore basically new retention and monetization mechanics for an ambitious cross-platform game, which is what we're building. And the best way to push my vision, which is about open economies and community economics, was to create a new studio. So that's basically what we did.
Okay, that's great. Based on your recent interview with the BJ, your current project in the last resort, what is it and when we expect to officially release to the world?
Yeah, Last Resort indeed is what we're working on today. It's a survival MMO, multiplayer game. It's our first title, and we believe basically it's the best platform to deliver on the vision of a decentralized economy. Basically, we can rely a lot on the storyline because you have a Black Swan event and you have a reset of society. And when you rebuild society, you can introduce all the Web3 components. For example, you can have direct contact between the players, you can have guild landing, you can have player-owned shops, which means that the crafting which is necessary to progress in the game, even if at the beginning it's relying on us, which is a central command, after that we can decentralize it to the player. And that's really why we are building this kind of game. We plan to release the game about a year from now, but there will be many events to come before that time, and the first one will be next month.
Okay. So you recently announced a special event for the Last Resort. Any hint about that event?
Yeah, absolutely. The idea since the beginning for us was to do a game-first approach. So we built the pre-alpha version, we built the prototype before we started building the community. So that's why if you go today, especially today, on our socials, you'll see there's not that many people because we spent the time.
22nd June.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry. Yeah, absolutely. So June is a time where we start talking about the game, and then July is a time where we do the first free mint event. And basically during this event, we will let people in the game, let them have fun, let them enjoy the mechanics, let them see how the game feel is. And this is what we've been working on for the past months. And the goal is for us to show them that we are serious about building the game, that we know how to do that, and that we know how to deliver something interesting. So next month, we'll basically start selecting our first survivors by offering them to complete a mission. So they'll enter the city and then they'll go on a mission. And if they complete that mission, they will get a redeem code for a free NFT.
So how can the people join your event? You have a link or some kind of social media activity?
Yes, so we have the Twitter account, which will of course be relaying all that information, and we will also be distributed on Elixir and Ultra. So if they go on those pages as well, whichever one they are used to, they will find the game there.
Okay, that's great. That's great.
We have the website as well, it's called lastresort.game.
Yeah, of course. I will mention the website address, so the people who want to join you, so definitely they will be click here. So
perfect. Thank you.
There are several games developing in and out of the Web3 space. How is the Last Resort different from others?
Yeah, so basically, the survival genre is a bit of an evergreen genre. Has been working for a long time, and there are a few implementations in Web3, but they're not done in a way that we are. Basically, our one is special because of the persistent city, and the city is where the metagame happens. So all your progression happens by going in contact with other players or with NPCs. The gameplay is multiplayer and collaborative to its core. So even the prototype is already multiplayer, it's already collaborative, and it's also cross-platform. So you'll see some PC-only titles. Ours is also available on mobile. It won't be for next month, but we already have a version running.
Okay.
And so we let players be actors of the metagame by becoming landowners or business owners. And this is quite specific as well. Also, outside the city, we start with one first gameplay, which is a scavenging, which is centric for the crafting loop. But after that, we will have other gameplay. So we have one central city where you have your progression, and that progression can be leveraged in different gameplays. The next one will be a rail shooter, which is very easy to pick up as well, very easy to port on different platforms. And then the last one will be, well, not the last one, but the third one we have thought of for now will be a tower defense game.
So anyone can join your game free, or they have to buy some NFTs or create some kind of account or something?
Yeah, it's a good question. So the game is freemium, and so it means you don't need to own an NFT. You don't need to have a wallet to start playing the game and start enjoying yourself. And what we've wanted to do is combine those two different populations and use the same ideas that we have in freemium model and mobile, which I've done for the past 10 years, where you attract a lot of people, you give them an enjoyable experience, and you try to convince them to convert to being paying customers, including NFT owners. And for that, we have a soft ramp. We work with Immutable, and Immutable ZKVM in our case has something called Passport, and this lets you get a wallet with just an account. So if you have a Google account or Facebook account, this kind of things, you'll be able to have a non-custodial wallet, and that will be a very easy way to get to NFT ownership.
Yes.
So we have super simple offers on freemium, which is basically a VIP pass or a season pass, and that's it. And then the currencies and the economy is Web3.
Okay, that's great. That's great. So, last resort occupied to monetization model in the ecosystem. Can you explain them in detail more about that? And one more thing, we already explained it, but I want to know more about that. How you cater the different audience from the different gamers. This is the main
Yeah,
thing.
that's a difficulty, right? Because not all gamers want the same thing. And we basically used what is called the Bartol taxonomy of players is a classic one for Web2, and we have a new one now that has been built by Navic, which is really interesting. And we try to cater some features to each of those players. But our main focus is to have non-NFT owners interact with NFT owners so they can see the value in investing in NFTs. So, for example, tomorrow you could be an armorer, and because you're an armorer, you have access to crafting recipes, and you can charge me for using the crafting recipes, right? So I can come to you with items that I have gathered in the world, and you can charge me for your service. And we believe that this interaction, where I'm not a payer but you are, is the best way for you to introduce me to the value of NFTs. This is really our thinking process.
Yeah, it's a very interesting idea, actually. In your experience with the Web3 games development, what is your approach to crafting Web3 mechanism that ensure the high quality gaming experience?
Yeah, so we've started to cover it a little bit. The main one for me is accessibility. We have to be sure that it's really easy to pick up. If someone is motivated enough and wants to invest in an NFT, we have to make that process as smooth as possible. This is what we call the soft ramp. Passport from Immutable will help us do this. There are other parts as well. And this is really key with the freemium. So we don't block you at the beginning. You don't have to choose an NFT, because there's the process of creating a wallet and buying currencies and other stuff. But there's also just the fact that you don't necessarily want to choose what you need in the game until you have spent more time in the game. So we let you spend more time in the game, and then once you're ready to invest in something or to purchase something, we give you a soft ramp. We give you an easy access, and you can get an NFT very quickly. And then later on, if you become an actual proper NFT player and you have your own custodial wallet, then you can transfer the NFT then. But the second part, I think, which is really key, is what I call lore support. So basically, the story of the game should support the mechanics that you are introducing, so that it makes it so much more natural. Very often, it's not that natural. So, for example, in our case, when we will have NFT collections for sale, all NFT collections have a limited amount of volume. And in our case, this is logical because it's surplus gear. So the militaries that created the base has surplus gears, they can sell it, but they can't recreate it. So that's why it's limited. When we decentralize the economy, it's the same thing. We move from martial law, where the military is in control of everything with central command, and then we move to democracy. And in a democracy, the military is supposed to get back out. So all this is basically a very, very nice introduction, and the law support really helps.
Yeah, it's a very unique and interesting idea. If the people want to rule something, so definitely they will join this game.
Yeah.
So if someone want to pursue a career in the Web3 gaming development area, what practical training should they require?
Yeah. So Web3 development is using the same profiles that we had before. So we already had 3 verticals, which is game design, art, and development. And all of these are still very relevant today, especially for games that are now trying to be AA and AAA and good quality. There are 2 specialties, in my opinion, that really developed. So if they're very interested, they could do that, which is developers that understand smart contracts. So for example, Solidity for EVMs. And here, someone who is a developer could learn that on top of his other languages that he already knows, so that he can develop smart contracts and so that he can develop 4 Web3 titles. And then the second one is on the game design side of things. We already had economy designers in free-to-play. Now we will have Web3 economy designers, people who understand tokenomics, people who understand flows and monitor all this. So I feel those 2 profiles are new, the new specialties, and then and they can be really key. So someone could focus on those.
Yeah, of course. In addition to the development and important aspect of the Web3 development game in the investment part, what advice would you give to the developers who are looking after for the investment in their games?
Yeah, this is our case. So we can share some of what we try to do. What we try to do is have a strong product vision, and that's the first one. Where you need to be very convinced about your choices and why you made them, and be able to explain them very clearly to anyone who asks, including VCs. Try to deliver as much as possible on that vision ahead of meetings. So I've discovered that VCs actually like prototypes. They are very ready to play something that is not finished, that is not with a great art direction, for example, but it's still a very good medium to convey the ideas and to help them project themselves in what you will be able to do if they provide the funds. And then a very strong plan to deliver on the vision with a talented team that you can set forward. So you basically explain what your idea is, show a little bit of that idea already in action, and then explain how you're going to go from this little part that you already have to what you are developing as a vision.
So explain your idea. You have a good team, and you define your project and what was it in the future, and what was the detail of that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So Web3 is mainly driven by the community. In what way the Blue Sky Interactive forecasting the strong and interactive community within the Web3 gaming space? When you engaging someone, especially the community in the Web3 gaming, so it's very difficult right now because there are lots of games in the market. So
there are indeed more games to look at. What we want to do is we are game first. We want to go after gamers. So everything we've done is really targeted towards this. We're not looking for speculators. So for example, next month we'll have the free mint, but the free mint will only be accessible to people who actually engage with the game. So this is our way to select founders. We will call them founders ultimately, who are people who have played the game while it was not completely finished. And this will go look for them on YouTube demos, on podcasts, on Twitter Spaces. And this is really the type of people we want to have in our community. And one thing we are going to do a little bit later than July is also what we call soulbound NFTs. So the idea is we will send NFTs that can't be transferred, can't be sold and bought. And this will be a sort of like achievement for people who have engaged with the game early on. And then later on, we will be able to reuse this, knowing, hey, this player was there at the beginning, this player was there at the beginning, and do special things for them because they are basically our co-founders in a way for the game.
Okay, that's great. That's great. It's a unique idea. So we are going for the rapid fire section. You have just 5 seconds to answer the question. Okay.
5 seconds. That
Yes.
is fast.
So what do you think traditionally games will fully adopt blockchain technology in the next 5 years?
Yeah, for me, we need to find recipes. Everyone is looking for recipes as to what will work. Once they are found, people will join.
Yeah. What upcoming Web3 trend do you look forward to this year?
Open economies integration. So how do you have players interact with each other in the game economy with as little intervention from the developer as possible?
What is your goal with the Blue Sky Interactive for 2023?
Raising seed fund, scaling our team, and being well on our way of delivering the vision.
Best of luck for that. Your top,
Thank you.
your top favorite Web3 games?
So cross the ages, because great storyline, cross-platform approach, best-in-class community management. And then I'm an FPS player myself, so I like Revenge, which has a very high quality, and I played it in NFT NYC, and that was really cool. So I wish them the best.
What NFT project do you look forward to this year?
So in terms of NFT collection, what I'm really interested in is looking at what the big ones will do. So for example, Bored Ape or CryptoPunks, they have a community, they have people who own their NFTs. What will they do with this? And this is really what's interesting to me.
Yes. So my last question for you. What message would you like to give to the community?
Oh, okay. So my message is basically that building happens during bear markets. Buildings don't happen during the mania phase. It's too late. So today is definitely a bear market. It doesn't feel great, but that's when you build. So if you're building today, you're on time.
Thank you so much for your time, Matthieu. And it was an amazing podcast with you. So see you soon. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Thank you very much, Hinza. See you soon.
Thank you.